Hello, everybody, and welcome to TNC Movie Nights. Now, we had a little bit of a last-minute change of plans here with today's episode. We had a plan. I had a plan. It was actually going to be a surprise, which still have planned out. We'll save that for next week unless more stuff happens. But this week was just the week of teasers and trailers and breaking news, and there's so much for us to talk about that we just have to talk about it. There's so much that we have to hit, so the little surprise can wait till next week. But, Jesus, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7 teasers, trailers, whatever you want to call them. But we'll just start right at the top of the list. First one kind of snuck under the rug here, the Black Adam teaser with The Rock. Looking really cool, if I'm being totally honest with you. I mean, we're going to get a little DC heavy in this episode, but that's just the way it is when they have 6 teaser trailers drop out in the same, 3-day period. But I know there's a lot of hype right now because people want to see Henry Cavill as Superman fight Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam. And I'm here for it, man. How are you feeling?
I'll be honest, that's not what I want to see. I want to see some Black Adam versus Shazam. That's all I'm wanting. That's all I'm looking forward to. Especially everything going on with DCU right now. I feel like Shazam is one of the very few that are locked in. He's Shazam still. We might see Henry Cavill. 2 good movies. Yeah, we might see Henry Cavill step away from Superman before Black Adam actually does come out. So that being said, though, this one did really kind of get clouded in everything else that got announced. This one came out the same day as a lot of the other ones, and it just was very quietly announced. It was a very small little animated teaser, a little voiceover from Dwayne The Rock, and it's good. It's interesting. I am very curious on what they're going to do with the character. I believe technically he is more of an anti-hero that leans more on the villain's side. So I'm very...
Venom-y, Deadpool-y type of thing.
Much more like Venom.
Maybe a little more like, okay.
Yeah, much more like
Deathstroke-y Venom, maybe?
Deathstroke is much more on the villain side. He's more of a mercenary.
Okay.
So kind of on the level of bad of Deathstroke in a sense, but kind of the Venom comp's pretty good because he'll fight good sometimes. So I'm curious because it is Dwayne The Rock. How many times are we going to see him be a villain in a movie where he might be locked up for 10 years through these movies at some point? So are they going to want to make him just a villain right away? I would be a little surprised if they go that route. So I want more of this movie. This is one of the movies I'm most interested in because we don't know a whole lot yet, and there is so much they can do with it.
Yeah, I feel like that Shazam mention that you had there too kind of hits the nail on the head here because that's that same sort of hype where it's not the poster boys of the franchise, but it has the opportunity to sort of lead the way. I mean, if you think about even how Marvel started their cinematic universe, outside of the Hulk, which kind of they had to change and then it came out a little bit after, but you started a franchise with Iron Man. He wasn't the most famous, most well-known Marvel superhero. I mean, he wasn't like a one comic wonder or anything like that. I mean, he had his own run, but if you were going to ask someone in 2008, who would you start a franchise with? I don't think a lot of people would say Iron Man. And granted, the DCU is not starting with Black Adam and Shazam, but it sort of has that opportunity to be like that where maybe not a face of the franchise becomes a face of the franchise, especially like you said, if you get Dwayne Johnson in it for 10 years or however long he wants to do it.
Yeah,
this is the potential to be big, and I hope it doesn't end up just like another DC flop where they just have 2 or 3 crappy movies with him in it and then there's a new guy to play Black Adam, or they just don't bring him back at all.
Yeah,
but we'll see. There wasn't a lot that came out with this one. This one was very much a teaser and a lot less of a trailer. So this one, we still have to wait on some information to work on,
Yeah, I can definitely agree. We'll definitely keep our eyes on it. And, of course, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Tweet at us what you guys think of Black Adam, what you want to see from Black Adam, if you want to see the hero, the villain, or just straight anti-hero side. So yeah, make sure to let us know.
Ooh. And more from the DC teasers. This one a little bit more of a trailer. But Suicide Squad. Sorry, The Suicide Squad, because Suicide Squad was the crappy movie that came out a couple years ago. The Suicide Squad is going to be the hopefully not crappy movie that comes out next year. I'm going to let you take the lead on this one, because I think you got a couple things to say about this.
The thing that shocked me the most about this little teaser trailer that we got is how many freaking characters are in this.
Dude.
It started and it's like the fourth person's Harley Quinn. I'm like, okay, cool. They're going with like 4 people, and then probably King Shark's next because I know he's in it. And I was like, oh yeah, Idris Elba's in it too, so we'll see his character, and that's it. Cool. 4 characters later, then we finally get some of the people I knew that were in it. So I think it's really exciting. It's a lot though. It is a lot, because my problem with Suicide Squad is they didn't give everyone enough screen time. Now they're adding 4 times the characters, and I feel like they're going to kind of get lost and kind of... I don't want this to, again, feel like Harley Quinn and the Suicide Squad. I want it to feel like the Suicide Squad, because that's what we're going for. If we want to go watch Harley Quinn, we can go watch Harley Quinn in the Emancipation, whatever proper term.
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey, yeah, thank you.
There you
I'm
go.
glad they shortened that one finally.
Yeah.
So... there's some really awesome stuff, though. I'm very excited for King Shark. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of play around with that character. He was in the CW Arrow and Flash show, and they did a great job for TV CGI. Like, it was really good. It worked very well. The talking and stuff was great for the character. And there are some characters I'm like, you're going to do this on the big screen, like the Polka Dot Man? You sure about that? You sure, guys?
Polka Dot Man, I love it. He's maybe one that doesn't need just as much screen time as Harley Quinn or anything like that. But I mean, I'm here for it. I love it.
I hope he steals the show.
I mean, Jesus, we got Peter Capaldi, Michael Rooker, Taika Waititi, Idris Elba, Nathan Fillion, Margot Robbie, John Cena, Pete Davidson. That's just I'm totally skipping a whole bunch. Flula Borg, super underrated pick that I love. He's such a whack job, and he's so funny. And like the 3-minute bits or the videos you'll see online. God, it's gonna be big, man. This is gonna be huge. And I think, to your point, one thing that could actually help with that is that we have James Gunn directing it. And so we already know his success with Guardians and with having sort of an ensemble cast and an ensemble movie.
Yeah, which is definitely fair.
And oh my God, those were amazing. That was, who's this group of no-names? You have a freaking raccoon with a gun and a tree, and where are you going with this? And it's a total fan favorite. Some people picked that over any sort of main cast Avengers movie. And I mean, credit to him. It's a great movie. So I think if he can bring that sort of vibe to Suicide Squad, which I'm assuming is why they brought him in, I think it could work.
And I do have to give him huge props too, because, as you said, he's worked with bigger casts. Not only has he had, the 5 group of the Guardians, but then when it came to the villains in the first one, you had multiple villains, and then you had like the space pirates that you cared about too. So he did a great job of fleshing out like 10 to 12 characters in Guardians. So I'm not too worried about him being able to do that, which is awesome. I do, again, just hope this doesn't feel like a Harley Quinn movie, and this really is Suicide Squad. So Harley Quinn's great. Margot Robbie, fantastic. But she's got her own like solo kind of gig going on a little bit, and I want a little more of everyone else. So
yeah, this will be her 3rd movie as Harley Quinn.
Yeah, it'll be her 3rd.
So it's like she led the show in Suicide Squad, and she was great. And then she was the titular character in Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
And so it's like, we don't need a 3rd movie led by her that's not meant to be. If they do Birds of Prey 2, cool, because that going in, but it's not like everyone's just going to fall back because it's Margot Robbie, because it's Harley Quinn, because they know that's what some people want to see. That's what it's a safe route, Don't take the safe route.
Yeah,
make it actually a good movie.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think, one of the DC movies that is going to be the turning point. It's either going to be, okay, DC's doing okay or good, and this is going to be like, whoa, DC's done it. They're here. Or it's going to be DC's doing all right, good, maybe great at the point, and this is just going to be like, all right, let's stop this whole villain movie thing. So, yeah it's going to be interesting.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no.
I was going to say, speaking of DC making mistakes and producing bad things, Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be coming out, and I'm a little conflicted about this one because I think it's no secret how I feel about Zack Snyder's involvement in the DC universe. I don't hate the guy as much as it sounds like I hate the guy. I just think his recent movies kind of blow, and so I don't really have high hopes for it. Especially when the first cut wasn't really that good either. And, I mean, maybe it was just a Joss Whedon thing. I know that whole thing was a big mess. Who knows, man? I'm going to go into this with low expectations, but maybe high hopes. Who knows? Maybe the master of making piece of crap DC movies can take a piece of crap DC movie and actually turn it into something watchable.
That is the main thing I'm excited about here because... most people can agree that, his movies have been a little rough with DC at this point. I'll be honest. Man of Steel, I had a good time.
I liked Man of Steel.
That was a good movie. Superman movie. I'm like, damn, that was good. Growing up...
The ending was stupid.
Yeah, it was...
but the movie was good.
Yeah, the movie was solid, and I will give him that. I'm a huge Watchmen fan. And I'm really curious if this is going to come out and we're going to be like, you know what? This really has been the studio handicapping him. Or is this just going to be like, sorry, Zack Snyder, it sucked the first time and it sucked again. Except now, do you know how long it is? Have you heard how long it is?
No.
Take a guess.
I don't know, like 3.5 hours probably.
4 1-hour cuts.
Oh, God.
It's going to be at least 4 hours is what for what has come out. So
this is some like Kevin Costner Dances with Wolves level type stuff.
It's gonna. Again.
It takes balls to make a 4-hour movie though. Like I said, you got Dances with Wolves, you got The Godfather. I think Cloud Atlas was creeping up on the 4-hour mark. It's a power move. It's a bold move, and I respect it. I don't know. I don't know what this movie's gonna be, man. I just don't know. I don't know.
There's a lot of things I've seen in the trailer that I was like, okay. I'm excited.
Right.
And
headphones and all messed up.
Oh, you're good.
Keep going, brother. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. So, I will be honest too. The Justice League movie itself, I had fun with it. I really did, and I hated Batman vs Superman. That is my least favorite movie of all time. I'll say it whenever I can. Justice League though was kind of fun. I had some moments. I was like, I'm having a good time. Like I wasn't overthinking the movie and stuff and trying to just beat it in the ground. I'll be honest. I thought Aquaman was really cool in the movie. Aquaman movie, totally. It's okay. I know you're not a huge fan. I think it's okay, but I thought he was really good in the movie. I wish there was more Flash. Flash is my favorite DC character, and I would like a little more screen time. He was really enjoyable. When he was on screen, I was always having fun. No matter what he was doing.
He was a nice shining spot in that movie. Aquaman was a good spot in that movie. Cyborg was solid in that movie. You can't really go wrong with Wonder Woman. Everything she's been in, she's done well. Whether it's Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in something else, or her as Wonder Woman in a Wonder Woman movie, they've just been good. So you knew it was going to be good. I don't know why that movie just sucked, though. It just wasn't... I don't know, it just wasn't that good. But it was not, like, egregiously terrible. It was just like, well, this movie kind of sucked. It was fun. A couple points were good. A couple of the people in it were fun to watch. But I didn't give a crap about the main story, because it didn't, like, pull me in or anything. I was more like, I don't care. Show me more of the Flash being funny or Aquaman being a badass.
Yeah.
I want to see that stuff.
Gal Gadot is destroying people.
Oh my God.
That's it. Like they do so well with the three
Beat the
kind of
crap
like
on anybody.
semi like, you know, like 1A, 1B, like how they're the 1B characters, because, you know, Superman and Batman are like 1A. And they do such a great job with the 1B characters. And then even like, I would say probably Cyborg's like the B character, but like still, he's great too. I love when he's on screen. So I really do have a lot of high hopes for the Zack Snyder cut. When they announced this, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be the turning point of DC. This is going to be what's going to make DC great. And
I think this is going to be the turning point for Zack Snyder too, because if this is like a 3 strikes you're out sort of thing, I think it's about time DC realizes that maybe he's not the guy for superhero movies. But if he knocks this one out of the park, like you were just saying, it's going to be like it really was the studio's handcuffing him. It's not all his fault.
Yeah, so it's going to be very exciting though. I don't know. Again, if any sort of comments and stuff, let us know. Like, have you guys just shut out DC movies? Have you just shut out Zack Snyder or Justice League? Did you see it and you're like, no, not even going to waste my time with a 4-hour movie? Or are you guys, you know, hopeful? Or is this something you're genuinely interested and excited for? And what's something you want to see in this movie? What is something that is going to be a big, like, yes, you did it, Zack Snyder. Thank you. Like, that's what I needed. So
good job, buddy.
Yeah.
You did it.
So again, let us know in the comments. Mention us on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you guys would like to hit us up at. So, all right, I'll go ahead and throw it back to you, though.
Absolutely. So, speaking of Wonder Woman and all the Justice League stuff, Wonder Woman 84, I know we talked about this before and how stoked we were about it coming out when we were talking about what movies are coming out, what the future is going to look like when movie theaters open. But they just dropped another trailer. And I didn't think it was possible for someone to upstage Wonder Woman in a Wonder Woman thing. But I am super stoked about Kristen Wiig in this movie. That was such a surprise. And at first I was like, okay, it's Kristen Wiig. I've seen her in a couple. She was kind of serious in like The Martian, and I love that movie. So she's not only just an SNL cast member trying to make an SNL bit into a movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's see where this goes. And then as it got more and more, I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. I cannot wait.
She really did steal the show in that trailer.
Man.
I was really interested to see where they're going to go with it, because it was kind of difficult to see Kristen Wiig as a villain. I was like, how are they going to do that? She's like just a sweet, great actor. I mean, you can be a great actor as a villain too, of course, but I was kind of waiting for the charisma, and then she's kind of like the dark undertones in her character. Mm-hmm. And I'm so excited that we actually got to see like the cheetah outfit. I didn't think they were going to do that. I didn't think they were going to do this whole, you know, tail and like cheetah skin suit sort of deal. And I was really excited when I saw it, because I love when they can kind of try to push those boundaries with maybe little CGI outfits or just make the outfits look that good. So I got to give him props for like really taking that leap to go with an actual full cheetah outfit.
Yeah. And that Apex Predator line, man. It's like, and we talked about this just a few minutes ago when we were watching. We watched all of the trailers or the teasers, whatever was released right before we filmed this, so everything was fresh. I think one of the coolest visual aspects of that trailer is also probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and that's Wonder Woman like Spidey whipping her lasso on a bolt of lightning and just kind of swing it. I get it's a superhero movie, so I'm not going to harp on it too much, but that's just stupid. It looked awesome, but it was so stupid.
For them to go out of the box like that was they have a lot of
cojones.
Yeah, a lot of cojones to do this, and it was cool. It visually was awesome, but then after I watched it and the trailer finished, I'm like, did she just Spider-Man lightning? So it was a little much. But again, if they can make it look that cool, though, I'll gotta step back. I'm not gonna get too judgmental on a weird, superhero thing. Again, it's your world. You do your thing. So
it's the same world that turned Professor Lupin into a Roman god. So I don't think Spidey surfing some lightning is exactly out of the question. And that movie was awesome too. So maybe this is just one of those situations.
Yeah, that's understandable there. So I think this, out of all the movies that we're going to discuss today that we have discussed already, this is the one that I can just plant a flag on and be like, this is a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes no matter what. This is going to be a good movie. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a well above average movie with the cast, just everything around this movie. I've no doubts at all.
It's going to be a solid flick. That's why I'm so pumped about it, man. It seems like it's just the perfect recipe. You have an all-star cast and an all-star director coming back, making a sequel that everyone wants to see, with a superhero that knocked it out of the park the first time. You have a super interesting villain that people are just aggressively talking about. It's coming out a little after theaters start to open again, so we can get butts in seats. It's not the weekend of, so you don't really have to worry about the people like me who are going to kind of wait it out and play it safe. It just seems like it's just meant to be. I'm totally right there with you. I think it's just going to be one that they knock out of the park. Just put an A on it already. Everyone's going to watch it. Most people are going to like it. I'm excited to see it too. Kind of a little less excited. Batfleck is back, apparently. I don't know why. So perhaps you could tell us.
So he's going to be coming back for the Flash movie. And to kind of give everyone a little bit of understanding what is going on in the Flash movie, a lot of it has been rumors because this movie does come out in 2022. So we aren't, too sure what they're going to do exactly. The movies change up the comic books a bit. There's a comic book, and I believe it's still on Netflix. It's called Flashpoint. It's a really, really cool little animated movie, like an hour and I think 20 minutes. And then the comic's really cool as well. And the story of Flashpoint is, depending on where they go with it, Flash goes back in time and pretty much messes up the timeline. For example, one of the big rumors right now is the guy who plays, what is his name, from Walking Dead, one of the main villains, Negan from Walking Dead. Yes, I'll go ahead and pull up his actual name too in a second.
Also John Winchester in Supernatural, if you're a fan of that. He's just a cool actor, man. He's
Jeffrey Dean
just
Morgan.
good in lots of stuff.
Amazing actor. The big talk right now that I keep seeing for the Batman movie, again, I don't know where it's going to be at this point. Something that happens in Flashpoint, it's multiple universes that kind of all happen. One of the universes is, instead of, the night where Bruce's parents die, Bruce gets shot. And we see Thomas Wayne, which would be, if they're doing it still, Jeffrey Dean Morgan would become Batman, and then Martha Wayne becomes Joker. So it's that dynamic, which is really interesting. Cool. That's why, there's talks about him being Batman. We have Michael Keaton returning as Batman. In one of the universes, me too. One of the universes
I love
will
Michael
probably
Keaton
still
Batman.
be like the Tim Burton. I think it's Tim Burton, right? Yeah.
Tim Burton.
Like 89-ish.
Danny DeVito, Penguin.
Yes. So
creepy.
Hey, we might see him return. Like, I think there's a chance that we might get some like Danny DeVito come back for that too. And
can we please have more Danny DeVito? I never thought I'd be looking up and raising my hands asking that, but I want Danny DeVito back, baby. No disrespect to the other Penguins. I don't even care about him as Penguin. I don't care if they have Danny DeVito playing Danny DeVito. You just need him in more movies.
I would love to see the whole universe
Danny
of
DeVito.
Like Danny DeVito is like Batman, but he's also Robin, and he's also like Penguin. He's just everyone, and that's the universe.
Just go crazy with it. Have him come back as like how the Spider-Verse had Spider-Ham. Have him come back as like Danny DeVito as Batman. It's just him in Batman pajamas, and he thinks he's Batman, and he's just the comic relief the whole time. They don't even mention where he comes from. Is it an alternate universe thing? I don't know. Did he just wake up one morning and just was like, this is me now, and now he's just gonna go try to fight crime with like the actual, not even Batman, the Batmen, like ensemble, all of them together, and then just Danny DeVito in his pajamas, and then he saves the day. I just wrote your movie. Take that, Zack Snyder.
Oh, damn. And that's what I love about it. They can go kind of crazy with it. I doubt we're going to see this happen, but like we could see Christian Bale's Batman return, or this is like Ben Affleck's coming back, is because we're going to see his Batman return. That might be the start of it, and then Flashpoint happens, And then that's what like breaks the whole universe, and that's just going to kind of be like a soft reset on everything since DC's been a little iffy for some people. I'm sure we'll see, Gal Gadot. I'm sure we'll still see, oh my goodness, the guy who plays Aquaman. Why am I blanking?
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa. Thank you. So we'll see kind of the main people stay. We might see Superman. Like this might be the reset button on it. I love Henry Cavill. Thought he's been good. That's a lot of talk of Henry Cavill changing it up. So there's so many possibilities that could happen with Flashpoint, and that's the really exciting thing. And I'll be honest, like I don't hate Ben Affleck as Batman. I personally think he's a very, very good Bruce Wayne. It's Batman, a little iffy. Batman's usually a pretty understanding character. He's more of a talk first than hurt people. Whether it's like he's up in the the rafters or something and like talking to people sort of thing. So it's definitely a little weird. We'll jump into another Batman that's definitely a bit different in a second since Alex.
Yeah, speaking of Batman who just kind of beat the crap out of people first and then say something. My God, the Batman trailer dropped with Robert Pattinson as Batman. We also talked about this a week or two ago. Damn. That scene where he just kind of walks up on a dude pretending to be the Joker, just beats the living hell out of him, falls down. You ain't done yet. I'm vengeance. Woo! That was interesting. I kind of like it. I was not a fan of like machine gun Batman that they did with Batfleck. But you're right, he did play a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. Are they going to double down on that and he's just a straight up serial killer now? Or are they going to kind of pull it back? Because I think I don't know. That's the thing with Batman, right? Is like, that's his thing. He doesn't want to kill people. So it's really easy to overdo that in movies. And you're just like, come on. You're just saving this for the sequel at this point.
Yeah.
But that's his thing, If that's his thing, that's his thing. So I don't know, man. I'm just psyched about this movie, too. All these teasers, all these trailers. I was anti-DC for a while just because their movies sucked, but now I'm kind of here for it. My headphones keep falling down.
No, you're good. So a big kind of question I do have is it kind of comes down to on what side of Batman they're going to go. Is this going to be a Batman we've seen before? Is it going to be one from the comics? Or is it going to be like taken from a little bit of everywhere and kind of twisted up a little bit, which is good. I think that's a good thing to do. And I think they clearly are doing that for what we saw in the trailer. The good thing is they aren't going as crazy as, Jared Leto's Joker. The writing for that was just bad. Gangster Joker, this weird, I don't know, like trying to be a mumble rapper Joker look that he had going on. And it's not that insanely different, but it's just enough where you're like, that's Batman. And you see what happens and you're like, that's still Batman, but I'm scared of Batman.
That's Batman, but he's pissed.
Yeah. He's been through some stuff. So
he had a bad day.
Yeah, they are doing a little something different with it. The funny thing is when Robert Pattinson got announced as Batman, I loved it for Bruce Wayne. I was like, he is going to be a stellar Bruce Wayne. Watching this trailer, I don't like his Bruce Wayne.
Really?
Really. The Batman looks like a badass Batman, and I love it. But his Bruce Wayne looks like he should be singing in My Chemical Romance. And it's really, it's not sitting well with me. Love MCR, love him to death. But when he looks like he should be an emo band, that's what I love about Bruce Wayne so much. And that's why Christian Bale and I thought Ben Affleck were great Bruce Waynes, and Michael Keaton too, is Bruce Wayne's suave. He's charming. He's kind of, this pretty boy. He's like the sexiest and the smartest man in the room type of guy. Maybe sometimes, maybe not the smartest guy in the room. Maybe he's a little ditzy and dumb because he's trying to, throw off the whole I could be Batman thing going on. So, and it's just a little
less cocky Tony Stark vibes.
Yeah, and it was a little, again, we don't know the context. For all we know, it could be like a funeral type of thing that he was in that room and stuff. That's why he was all kind of meh. So I get it. We'll kind of have to see what the Bruce Wayne is like. That was the thing that really excited me, though, about Robert Pattinson, because, I didn't like the Twilight movies, but I'll be honest, like, he was a charismatic, he had a lot of, he had the way of talking to people, like, his charm was just there. Even like, again, how weirdly the movies were written at times for Twilight. So it's only slightly off-putting thing to me so far. Actually, one more thing. I'm sorry. It worries me on how many villains are in this movie that we know so far. That's something that there was a problem with Amazing Spider-Man 2. You were just drowned in villains. Rhino, Electro, Hobgoblin is Green Goblin for that movie, and then Spider-Man 3, which again another one. Spider-Man 3, for goodness sakes, Bruce Wayne looks more like he's from the jazz club scene than he does as Bruce Wayne for this movie. It was kind of threw me off too. And then
hit that slide out.
Exactly. And in this movie, it's worrying me too, because in that one, you had Venom and you had Sandman, and then you had who is the other villain in that movie?
Goblin.
Green Goblin. Yeah, Green Goblin again. And you had 3, and it was just kind of too much. And then Batman vs Superman was a little too much because you had Lex Luthor trying to be in the movie, and then you had the Doomsday, and then you had Batman and Superman fighting each other. And the problem with the movie is you can't grasp onto one plot point. And for what we saw in Batman, we saw Penguin, we saw Catwoman, there was a lot of Riddler teases, we saw like this Joker gang. So I understand that they're trying to make this like hey, this is our universe, this is all already set up, we're not going to give you another who
need an origin story again.
Yeah. So I get it, I understand it. But you don't need to give us 4 or 5 type of villains. And also there's posters all over the wall about like the Maroni and just all the big crime bosses in the area. So I'm concerned that they're going to give us too much all at once, and we're not going to be able to enjoy the movie at its fullest. We'll see. I'll be honest though, this one was exciting. I've watched this trailer about 15 to 20 times now. The first night I watched it 5 to 10 times. I've watched it so many times because it is honestly a fun trailer. I like everything I've seen outside of my little question marks of, is this movie going to work? The trailer itself, nothing was that looked bad. The whole thing, I was like, oh,
that's true.
So cool. It's just, are they going to do it right? Those are my questions. So,
right. And a couple of things. I kind of actually liked the eye makeup Batman, because that's one thing I feel like none of the movies address, is that when you see them with a mask on and their eyes are blacked out, that means that before they suited up, they had to put on makeup.
Yeah.
And so to throw back to one of your favorites, that's why one of my favorite scenes in Kick-Ass is when he's putting on the eye paint. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. That's one of those subtle things that they acknowledge that you don't have to answer, but they chose to. That same thing we were talking about in John Wick when he hired the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
Or with the police. Mm-hmm. It's not something you have to answer because no one really cares about it, but it's one of those things where maybe on your 3rd, 5th, 10th watch, whatever it might be, you're like, wait a minute, I see a lot of paint there. Mm-hmm. And then he takes his mask off later, and then he's just normal. So how does that work just logistically? So maybe that was sort of like a slap of realism to it, where something tragic happened, like you said, maybe someone died, there's a funeral, or something happened, and he just took off the mask.
Yes. And
so he's just there, kind of shell-shocked, still, so fresh that he still has the paint on.
Which I will say, I have no problem with that scene. Like when he's on the motorcycle, right. He's got the black eyes. It's really when he's in, when he saves the dude from the car. Just that look. He's got the short hair here, and it just... I don't know, it just felt so dark. And I'll be honest, if they address it pretty early in the movie, and instead of it being the other one's oh, hey, Bruce Wayne, that the sexy billionaire, playboy Bruce Wayne, and that's what they've always done. The guys going to the parties, doing charity events and donations and all these big events and everything like that. Is it going to be, oh yeah, that's Bruce Wayne's mansion, the kind of weird billionaire dude? If they kind of go that route, I'm cool.
Yeah, I could see that.
Totally fine with it. I'm totally
a little mysterious, a little darker,
the mysterious,
less known.
It's who lives at that mansion? It's isn't it that Bruce Wayne guy? Yeah, we never.
Not that kid whose parents got shot.
Yeah,
and now he's just a billionaire.
Yeah, and I would love to see him go that route. If they do that, my question is gone. I have no concerns. Give me emo Batman. I'm cool with it. Whatever.
Emo Batman. I love it. We go from Bat Fleck to emo Batman.
Which,
I love that.
Again, they address it. I'm cool with it. But if they try to make him this kind of still cool Batman, and he looks like that, I'll be okay. I can get past it. I'm not going to be harping on it the whole movie. I just would like it to be addressed a little something.
Totally. And it's also really hard to judge the subtle tones and nuances of a movie that's going to probably be over 2 hours when they give you a minute and a half clip.
Yeah.
So there's definitely still a lot to learn from this one, but I'm psyched about it, man. I'm really excited for it. And then the other thing with all of the villains, that's going to be interesting because I feel like one of two sort of like bad things can happen with that. One, you oversaturate it and then no one just cares.
Yeah.
Who cares? I'm not invested in any one villain, so I don't care about them. There's too much on my plate for me to focus on any one thing. So it's just like you end up leaving the movie like, oh yeah, there's this one and this one and this one and this one, and I just don't care. But the other thing that you can do that a lot of like franchises are trying to do, especially, and I mentioned this before, I think, especially on like second installments, which I know this isn't, but it's like a universe that's already set, is they try to set the table for like a trilogy or for like a 5-movie series, and the entire freaking movie becomes set up. There's no conflict, there's no resolution, it's just all of this stuff is going on. Uh-oh, something might happen. Roll credits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell was this? Like, the second Fantastic Beasts was very guilty of that. It was just like, I think I see where you're going, but can you get there, please? Because this is a whole movie. You dedicated all of this to be a full movie. There should be conflict. There should be resolution. There should be something happening. And you don't have to do that with all of them. Set your universe. Set up sequels. I'm all for it, man. But have something happen. If you're going to have one person, like, I don't know, say the Penguin is like the main villain in this one, but you also introduce the Riddler and you have Catwoman kind of in there, and is she going to be this sort of, because she kind of falls in that anti-hero thing too. Yeah. Sometimes she's bad, sometimes she's good, sometimes she's fighting with Batman, sometimes she's fighting Batman, sometimes she's dating Batman, who knows. So introduce your universe of villains and then focus on one, have conflict, have resolution, have stuff like that. But then you can build off the other ones for the later ones so you don't have to start fresh. If you can do that, I'm all in.
Yeah. I can definitely agree. And yeah, if they do make Penguin like the main bad guy, and then kind of the Riddler's is constant like itching the whole movie, that kind of just in the back of your mind, you know, the little cues that they're doing for him, and then Catwoman just kind of shows up for a little bit of the movie. You're like, oh, that's Catwoman. And she shows up at the end like, oh, okay, cool. That's what she's doing now. So one of the things that was kind of surprising to me was that they did announce that this is not in the DCEU. This is its own standalone Batman.
Really?
Yes. I thought that was kind of surprising.
Did not know that.
Yeah. I thought this was going to be the reset. That, you know, Ben Affleck's Batman is going to be done. This would be the new Crusader thing. I've seen a lot of different rumors and talks that there's some people thinking that this is going to intertwine with the Joker movie. Because, you know, you had like the Joker gangs in that movie, and now there's a Joker gang in this movie. And maybe that could kind of lead up to like the second Joker movie, because a lot of the talks, again, I've seen is the second Joker movie is supposed to introduce the real Joker. And what we saw in the first one was kind of just like the setup, the idea, I guess kind of the idea the Joker's always here. So, you know, depending what they do with it, if they bring these two together, I think that'd be kind of interesting. They definitely have the same tones, and I like that a lot. They're both very dark tones, and I think they could go hand in hand fairly well.
To kind of have this in the Joker universe instead of the DCEU.
Yeah. What are they going to do with Batman in the DCEU at that point? Ben Affleck's back for the Flash movie. Is it going to stay around if it does well? We don't know.
Shit, maybe they kill him. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. This is going to be interesting for sure. With that, it kind of almost makes it even more boom or bust, because I know we were talking a lot of these movies is either gonna like really help DCU take off or it's gonna sink the franchise even more. If they have a different DC universe just for like the Joker and a Robert Pattinson Batman, and they can kind of do whatever they want with that, they can take that and just run with it and make that like a shining spot in this. Or it can totally suck and just make everybody confused and make nobody care about anything DC does for the next 5 years.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
That's another thing. All these teasers. There's so much still to know. But that's the whole point. That's why they do it. So that way idiots like us get on the internet and talk about it. So that way other people can just listen to it and be like, huh, I wonder. It worked. Well done. You did it. We even changed the topic of the episode to do it. We're suckers. We are saps.
It's all right. It's always
But you know what?
fun,
I'm
though.
proud of it. I'm proud to be a sucker or a sap. I had got all my notes here about all these movies. They're not even coming out for a year. I don't know why I'm talking like this. I'm not trying to start a fight or anything, except with Zack Snyder.
So as you guys know, there's
I don't hate him.
No,
I know it
it's
seems
okay.
like I hate him so much, but I don't. But I'm sorry, were you gonna say something?
Oh, no, I was gonna say, just so as you guys know, there was a lot we talked about today, from the Black Adam Suicide Squad little teasers we got, from the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League into Wonder Woman, Batfleck news, and then of course rounding out with the Batman trailer that came out. Again, as we always like to bring up, let us know in the comments. Twitter, we'll kind of probably hold a poll up in this week to let you guys know, like, to let us know what you guys are most excited for out of all these movies. So if you really think Wonder Woman is gonna be great and you're just not interested in anything else, if you think Batman's gonna be like, this is now the DC that I need, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. But Alex, you want to go ahead and let them know what our little next episode for our review is going to be?
So this not only changed what our main episode was going to be, it changed up what our review episode was going to be, because I'm not someone who has a ton of Batman nostalgia. I've always liked them, and they've always been fun to watch, but I didn't grow up watching like the Adam West cartoons or anything. Or not cartoons, the Adam West TV show Batman. I did, however, love the Adam West Batman movie. And so when I was watching the trailer for this one, seeing Batman interact with detectives at a crime scene was kind of a throwback to like, okay, he's one of them, because the Nolan universe, he helped, but then was kind of on the run and kind of helped a little in the shadows. Maybe he'd chat with the commissioner, but then they'd go to the scene and they'd do all the announcements. But to see Batman in the room while they're like looking at evidence and they're at the crime scene was kind of like, it's kind of like a throwback. Adam West in his underwear just kind of there. Let me tell you something, Commissioner. And then to also have the Riddler, Catwoman, Penguin, and then I know the Joker's probably not going to be in it, but that sort of Joker army, again, bringing me back to that Batman movie with Adam West. So we're just going to watch it. I have it on Vudu, so we're just going to watch it. And so if you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. We're going to see if there's a way we can stream it. It gets a little bit more wishy-washy with movies that aren't on like a Netflix share play sort of thing, just for licensing and copyright issues. It becomes a little bit more sketchy, so we're going to see if there's a way that we can watch it with you guys. But either way, if you get a chance and you haven't seen it yet, it is so stupid and so much fun. And so we're going to watch that this weekend, and that episode will be up on Saturday, and I'll probably have a big stupid grin on my face because I love that dumb movie.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a nice little DC week to wrap up the DC Fandome events that happened over the weekend. So yeah, it's definitely been a pretty good time for us then. Alex, where can the people find us?
Brandon, they can find us pretty much everywhere. We're on basically all of the socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's TNC Movie Nights everywhere. If you're watching this, you can catch it on YouTube. We also share the links on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram as well. Recently, we started putting teasers on Instagram and TikTok. We're now on TikTok because that's a thing.
For like 14 more days.
Yeah, who knows, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can check us out there. If you just listen to this, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we got Anchor, man. Anchor helps us out with everything. So pretty much everywhere you can play a podcast, you can find us there. We're not hard to find. Also, we get very bored throughout the day. So if you feel like commenting, we'll chat with you guys there. Anywhere you want to find us, we're there. Also, if you're perusing some websites for us, go check out some merch. As always, we have Movie Nights merch. He's rocking some OG TNC Penguin merch. There's the Nerd Chamber stuff there. Stuff to fit all your nerd fancy. Like I said, we're not hard to find.
All right. Well, I'm Brandon. This is Alex. It's been a good time. A lot of DC, a lot of fun. See you guys next week.